Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Saturday, October 25, 2025. It's almost 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at night in the USA. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel where I share charts and my upcoming watch list for the week. Let's actually start off with the watch list. I'll go through some earnings calendar, economic data, some stock charts, and crypto charts as well. This week is going to be very important for stock earnings releases. The biggest week, we have Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple for technology earnings. We also have Coinbase in there for crypto, MasterCard, Visa, and PayPal for payments. And sometimes I like to check out Starbucks and Chipotle, see what retail and some food and UPS shipping is doing as well. For economic data, on Wednesday will be the biggest meeting, federal funds rate, FOMC statement, FOMC press conference in relation to the potential interest rate cuts. Very important. Advanced GDP data and core PCE price index data as well. Recent news, President Trump announced new 10% tariffs on Canada due to controversial advertisement. Last week's September CPI printed at 0.3%, and the annual inflation rate is 3%. Both were lower than expected. That's why stock market indexes rallied. Target Corporation will lay off 1,800 office jobs. Netflix and Tesla both missed earnings estimates. Former BYND CEO CZ was recently legally pardoned by President Trump, and crypto stablecoin usage has increased in the past year. Now, chart events and crypto events I will show later, but I want to make clear the earnings reports and breaking news that's coming out this week and for the next couple of weeks can override and cancel the technical charts. That's why I'm not pushing technical charts too much right now, because earnings and inflation is going to be the biggest macroeconomic narrative. We'll go over these. In a nutshell, however, summary, Bitcoin looks pretty bullish to me, whereas stocks are still high priced and only some of the meme stocks look interesting to me. Let's start off with SPY. S&P 500. Still in this uptrend, we broke up to new all-time highs off of that inflation data. On a weekly chart, it's still a bullish candle. It is not a shooting star here, and it's not a double top either. So we are okay, unless there's some breaking news. Now, the 4-hour, remember last time I was talking about daily and 4-hour, we could potentially bounce off that 50 EMA on good news, and that's what happened. So we're okay right now. Above the pivot point, reaching R2, can we reach R3, 688 in the next 30 days or 60 days? Nasdaq, QQQ ETF broke above resistance to 618 zone. Totally normal, totally fine. Tech is still in that golden up cross, still in the uptrend right now. The weekly chart not showing any weakness, nor is there a double top. Not happening right now. Still bullish. Can we hit 623 and 630 in the next 1 or 2 months? Support to the downside. It's very important to note that even if I give targets, that anything is possible in the stock market, so that I always need to pay attention to, for myself, support levels at 612 and 600, making sure we don't crash below those off of strange earnings. Dow Jones. DIA, all-time highs in the price, or at least the 2025 high. Very similar to S&P 500, bouncing off that 50 EMA, creating a dip, still in the uptrend. Weekly chart not showing any major problems. 4-hour as well, making higher highs and higher lows. We are okay right now. Once the RSI starts to get above 75 to 80, perhaps around 75. That's when technical traders might get a little bit more nervous. And the last time we had 75 RSI on a weekly chart was before the tariff crash way before that. And it was only a pullback of back then about 6%. Tariff crash was pretty bad. That was about 20%. And we made all that back. Yes, it is beginning to lose momentum if somebody's saying, wait, what about this MACD histogram? Yes, but these weekly charts could take weeks to play out before the actual crash happens. So that's why we're still in a bullish environment. Russell 2000. Russell 2000 is still in the uptrend. Golden up cross, uptrending price, gap up off of the support balance above 244. Weekly chart was a little bit more suspicious looking because these are small cap stocks. But probably it's going to rally as high as maybe 255 or 260 range before it gets really overextended in that Bollinger Band and linear regression zone. Then we might see the next pullback. It's business as usual. As long as support holds, there was that double bottom W here in October holding above 240, 265. So we're looking for that upside target. I'm just going to go ahead and skip Magnificent 7 because the earnings are coming out at this point. That's all that matters, at least to me. And I'll just show a couple of the chart events that I'm looking at that's not related so much to earnings. So Reddit, yes, we had BYND. Maybe I'll go over that at the very end of this video. But we have Reddit. The reason why it's popping on my scanner, large MACD histogram, bullish momentum potential, and squeeze as well. We have earnings coming up. See if they can hit their metrics on EPS and revenue, which is on Thursday, October 30th. So if it's going to rally in the bullish scenario, there could be potential 5, 10, up to 20%. I'll leave a 20% target. 10% downside risk. There is a head and shoulders potential, right? So I'm showing the bullish scenario. If there's going to be a bearish scenario as well, it could crash the opposite way. So understanding this, I am not playing options on this one in terms of straddles or strangles, but I might play a small option just because of this momentum. We'll see what happens. But I typically don't like buying stocks before earnings, because anything is possible. Hertz, essentially not quite a double bottom, but holding support above this 0.88 level, which is about $5. And I'm seeing double MACD histogram on the daily. So if they have good earnings, we can see all of this open range is available for Hertz to try to capture anywhere between 10, 20. If it goes the full 30, 40%, maybe I'll have to grab on options on this one. We'll see option contract. Next, BlackBerry. The only thing that's interesting, this is not the greatest price action, but the stochastic bounced above 25. It's about 27 right now. Small MACD histogram. And strangely, golden cross on this meme company. High, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. Can we actually make a higher high? It'll be interesting to see. RGTI Quantum's pulling back severely. Do want to point out that the setup for that was outside the Bollinger Band, above linear regression for 2 days in a row, making dual, double hanging man candles, which are bad. And then we shorted down 37%, bounced up 30%. There is that potential news, potential morning star, but we're still holding above this particular midpoint zone. On the 4-hour, what's catching my eye is potential squeeze and MACD histogram momentum building, but it could take a while because the stochastic RSI is on the overbought zone. Maybe we have to have one more pullback. Potential trend change, right? If we hold above $34, even though this is head and shoulders, it would be interesting to see if we have a trend change because this is quantum computing. Chipotle on the weekly, it's been on my scanner for weeks now. And so that's why I don't really push this onto people too much. But it is in a downtrend. Chipotle had some problems in the past earnings. Their revenue was down. But there is still technical MACD histogram building. The squeeze is not ready to go yet. So maybe after earnings, if they happen to have surprise good earnings, we could try to make that higher high back up to like $50 zone. But if it doesn't go up like that, it could continue to crash to 35 or even 27. So that's why this one is a long-term play. Have to just wait for Chipotle to recover, but some of the technical momentum is building there. All right. Let's just go to crypto right now. We're about the halfway point. Let's go to crypto. Let's try to give some more optimistic charts. Okay. Total crypto market cap. I like how we're holding above the 200 EMA right now with this MACD histogram. I was long crypto. You know this if you watch my videos. I was long crypto for about 2 or 3 weeks now. And look what happens, right? If I just have confidence in my strategy, which I said can have a 60, 70, 80% win rate, if I hold above the support level, there is a chance 60, 70, 80% that we're going to bounce. And that's exactly what happened on all major cryptos. So it's not what I say, it's just following one of my strategies, just one of them. And what I'm seeing in the market right now is if we hold above this 200 EMA, we could target this 50 EMA and potentially the all-time high of 4.24 trillion. So if we flip to Bitcoin, it's a Bitfinex chart. Same thing on Bitcoin is after the flash crash, we're holding this support level of 107K, 107,000, potential double bottom turned into a 4-hour upside down head and shoulders, which is why I'm still bullish on crypto. I'm still long. I do want to point out to people that breaking news from USA government, or even if like Coinbase earnings or Robinhood earnings coming up, or MSTR earnings, or if some government development happens with Bitcoin in USA or Europe or Asia, we could still potentially crash down. So that's why always being aware of where's my major support levels, 108K, 105, 103, 100. If we hold above those, this upside down bullish head and shoulders will not be real until we break out, retest, and then try to maintain that uptrend, the potential target being 6 to 12%. 6% Bitcoin would be 118K. 12% Bitcoin would be all-time highs, 125K. Now, the downside, remember, as long as we stay above this little EMA, it's really subtle to see, but we stay above 109, we might be okay for the next 30 days, 109K. So the next setup that I'm seeing, I'm just going to skip to Ripple because Ripple has a much, much cleaner upside down head and shoulders play that actually I already made the profit on this one. So, right, it's still just inkling up on this weekend because people like this, right? This is a very strong pattern. Last time we had upside down head and shoulders before the rally, XRP went 50% on that beautiful news. So if this is going to happen, then maybe 12 to 24% target right here, 283. We go the full 24% for swing trade. Try to target $3 to like 312. These targets I'm watching for. We need to hold above 250, definitely 233. If we never drop below there, then we could just imagine the price action going up to hit that target. But remember, what's the actual, if I just randomly buy in this moment in time, because I bought way lower off my strategy, but right now it's about 10% risk, downside risk to a potential swing trade of 15 to 20% risk. And I'm just going to have to position size accordingly for future trades. But might re-enter right after this video. We'll see. Ethereum has a symmetrical triangle. It's not upside down head and shoulders, but we can interpret this multiple ways. Triple bottom support above 3,800. Or if you open up a 4-hour, it's actually a symmetrical triangle, possibly breaking out. Measured move here of 10% plus or minus. 10% first target, 43.56. 20% second target, 47.56. So again, patience is key. just remember what the technical analysis knowledge tells us and backtesting. If we hold support and we start uptrending, there's greater than 50% chance we're going to break out of here. So that's what's happening right now. Waiting for that. Next up, Solana. I'm also long Solana right at this bottom spot. So Solana double bottom, potential above 180, also bounced off the 200 EMA. So that's why after it crashes down 25%, that's a discount. Imagine me going to the store, and if I can hold Solana in my hands and there's a little sticker saying 25% off, some people are just going to buy that because it's Solana. So that's why sometimes I just think of it like that. I don't have to overcomplicate with 10 indicators. It's just discount. Is this crypto good? We're going to buy that. But for a disciplined technical setup, though, it is in a symmetrical triangle that just started to break out right now. That's why we're all getting excited. Finally, this rally that I marked for 3 weeks, finally going up here. Yay. Great. So now lower low, lower high, lower low. Can we make a higher high? Excuse me, lower high, but then higher low trend change. Can we get that for the next 30 days? Here we go. We're about to see if that happens or not. Next up, Link. I'll go faster here with the setups. Potential upside down head and shoulders above the 618 zone. Coiling up above the 200 EMA. If there's a bullish setup, this is one of them for me. So I'm already long Link. Cardano, not above the 618. It might be a different. If we take the April low of this year, actually it's the June low. I use the Fibonacci here. It's below the 618. It's actually 786. Support level above 61 cents. But if I happen, I'm already long Cardano. But if I like this setup, it's about, again, I like to say 10% risk and longer term 20-25% bullish targets. But remember, this crypto, if it just dumps on me, I'm actually might buy more because I like the setup. I like these momentums, but the squeeze is not perfect yet. It's not perfect yet. I'm just in here early because that's one of my strategies. Moving on. If you like meme coins, Pudgy Penguins, Pengu USD in the 618 zone. That's what I like about this with the double MACD forming. But beware, Pengu ATR is very volatile. It just crashed 13% right into the 618 zone. Right, I was watching that happen. And until we get a clear trend change, it's still like a yellow light. It's a maybe. And unless it double bottoms, upside down head and shoulders, or just straight up trend change. But I like the early stages of the momentum. So it has to hold the support in reverse, but it's in the 618 zone. Last one, Pump. Pump I like. I'm already long Pump. Multiple reasons. It's below the 618 zone. It was a 786 Fibonacci play. I'll call out the price 0.003426 bounce, double bottom there. I like that. On a 4 hours upside down head and shoulders. So I was like thinking to myself, I'm gonna go long. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Even if you just get one lower high bounce up to 0.005700, which instead of saying all these 00 numbers is 20% risk, 50% upside. I have a target to 100% or more. So that's why, because Pump, I have to wait for it. How long it's going to take? Let's say average, maybe a couple weeks. It's already been a couple weeks, but I need that trend change to happen and then trigger the bots on like unusual volume, or somebody sees this breakout that I'm seeing and we try to target multiple resistance targets. But remember, this is Pump. This is one of the Pump.fun website. Not everyone's into meme coins like I am. But if it pulls back, there's 20-25% risk downside. But that's a regular swing trade for me in terms of investment as well. So that's what I'm looking at. And there's a lot of altcoins that have a similar momentum setup. So honestly, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Solana have to lead the way here. In terms of the rally, like on Bitcoin, we have to keep going up 5% for altcoins to really go up 5 to 10%. Good to see that. Beware of earnings this week. Tech earnings, inflation data. If we get some bad surprise news, then all these crypto setups and all these stock setups can fail potentially. So just understand, I don't want to get too over leveraged. I don't want to get too overexcited about what's happening right now. Just play solid chart setups. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. If you like this video, consider clicking subscribe, hit the like button, share this video with your friends or the chart setups and events. Remember, this is not financial advice. And I hope you have a nice week. I have a feeling, though, this is just the end here, that some people's attention might not be on stocks and crypto, because honestly, in America, if you know sports, the MLB World Series, baseball games are going on right now. It's the championship, basically, for baseball. So that's what people are watching right now. But I'm focused on stocks and crypto. So I see that play. I'm already in. Now, the last thing I want to show is, some people don't have to watch this if you don't even trade stocks, but this is a learning education segment. BYND. BYND. I want to approach this in several ways. First, I want to say that penny stock trading, meme stock trading, meme coin trading, very volatile, very dangerous. People can lose some or all of their funds or money in their account. But as a teaching moment is, even before all of this insane price action happened, right? What was the setup here? Yes, this is a really bad company on paper, BYND. It's downtrending on the price, on the daily chart. The earnings were negative for multiple consecutive quarters in a row. The stock used to be in the hundreds to 200s of dollars way back in the pandemic days when this was new, right? I remember this thing went to 200 and then crashed down to 65-cent zone. So that's what caught the idea of some people, 55 cents. It triggered on unusual option scanners in some of the Reddit, Wall Street Bet communities. But if we ignore all that, if I only looked at charts, was there a setup? There actually was. On a 4-hour chart, that Wednesday, October 15th, 16, 17, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there was that 4-hour MACD bullish momentum, low RSI, bullish momentum stochastic. The squeeze didn't show yet. But there was 3 signals, at least, after a dump. Right? And then somebody came in and put that really big, unusual options. That's what started to get the attention. Then we had a gap up overnight. It started to spread on social media. Prices above the 20 EMA hit $1. Options were still relatively cheap on the first day. And then we gapped up like 50% on that first day, I believe. Right? Gapped up in the USA, 50%. The second day, they had news. And the second large green candle went 140% on the Walmart deal. Then we had global FOMO, basically. And we overnight gapped up 75%. But I want to show the downside crash, right? Everyone gets excited about the upside potential. And when it's uptrending, sometimes I just buy some, right? As a stock trader, sometimes just buy some, which the stop loss is not 50%. It should only be like 20%. Or if you're playing ATR, the stop loss could have been 50% of a small position. That's the better way to manage risk. Let's just say a default, if it was, even if somebody didn't know what ATR was, maybe trailing 20, 25% on a small position, which is totally normal. And the key would be trailing stop and just let it ride up. And then on that third day, if you know penny stock trading, usually when it gets really overbought, so for me, that's outside the Bollinger Band, that's outside the linear regression, it's hit all the pivot points, it's gone to just no man's land into outer space. That's when the shorts get hungry. The bears get hungry. They want to attack that. It's like a fish out of water. It's up there. They're going to attack. So what happened is we had this uptrend for multiple, I'm on a 15-minute chart, uptrending for multiple sessions, day and aftermarket. Then once we hit that super high of 875, we could actually see the trend changing in real time. This is, I'll turn the MAs off. We're price uptrending, right? Then we have a big pullback, and the red flag on Wednesday, October 22, 9:30 a.m., we had that one pump of about 45 or 20% potential, but it's already starting to downtrend. This is a longer term hourly lower high, right? You can see on the hourly is very important. 4 hour, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. 15-minute hourly is where we get our clues, and we could see the resistance below 725 to $7 zone resistance. Then zooming back in, we hit that lower high. You could see on the candle, we had the Bollinger Band touch up here, lower high on hourly, then shorts dominated the entire day. They did the same thing on the next day. We had a small rally off a lower high, but this is BYND with negative earnings and corporate financials. We wait for it to hit a spot where it's overbought, smash it back down. Same thing here, hits a double top resistance below 350, smash it back down. That happens on penny stocks all the time. All the time. Although we had a support play above 264, this would have been a trend change if this crash didn't happen on Thursday. If it kept going, then maybe we would have a recovery that everyone wanted. But retail, unfortunately, everyone's gone, right? The volume significantly decreased after these 2 days, right? The volume's even going down. Volume's going down, prices going down. Small a chance for intraday or swing trading, but sometimes those setups failed, and I have to wait. That's why sometimes I just move on. BYND, I'm personally not interested in this anymore, although there are signs that there could, I don't want to give people too many ideas. This is not financial advice, but there are signs that there might be a bounce, but it has to get really extreme again. We lost the 618, let it just come down to nothing. Maybe there could be a chance at one more small bounce. Maybe it's only going to bounce about 25%, 30%, but that could just be a short bear just closing out their position and causing that 1 or 2 day volatility of just up and down. And then they're just going to keep shorting this thing back down to like 50 cents. Maybe that's their target, $1.50 downside target, right? So until I see on hourly or 4 hour some extreme signal, we even had one and it still failed. That's why it has to be extreme, like extreme oversold, or extreme, multiple support for multiple days in a row, and then maybe we get a reversal to the upside. But it is still looking bearish to me, unfortunately. That's why there's plenty of other setups. Especially crypto. There's opportunity in crypto, in my opinion, right now. Meme stocks just got to be careful. If I'm not on the right side of that upside move, sell and go away. Sell and run away. Sell and do anything else on the computer. Play a video game, watch baseball, watch a movie, watch TV, look at the charts. Actually, the better thing would be bar replay, learn, practice from it, move on. That's what I do often, just not on video. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, let's manage risk. There's always another trade every month. So I just have to manage my risk. Don't blow up accounts. Control my emotions, slow my breathing, and just wait for the next setup and then execute. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice week.